time. And she is really the publicist to the stars. So we want to introduce to some and present to others, none other than Miss T. Marie.
Hey, I'm feeling honored. Hey, guys.
She talking
And
square to you, baby.
Square, big.
I had to. I'm sorry. I had to.
Y'all are too much. How are you guys?
We're good. How are you?
Listen, it feels different being on the other side of
I know.
today.
Right?
It really does, but it's an honor to be with you guys. Hi, family.
Hi. Listen, we have so much to talk about. Like, I don't even know where to start. First of all, I need to read some of your bio to the listeners because I need them to know exactly who you are, because the work that you do sometimes is not in the forefront, and you work so much harder than some of us that are always in the forefront. I want them to really know exactly what it is that you do. So listen to this, guys, about T. Marie. She is professionally known as T. Marie. She has developed, implemented, and maintained public relations and social media strategies within the automotive, educational, healthcare, and most importantly, and dear to her heart, the Christian entertainment, nonprofit, faith-based, and lifestyle sectors. PR is more than just a career, it's a calling. It's a statement that CEO T. Marie Media Group lives by. Taquanda Marie began her calling in world of public marketing and public relations for a local Christian production company, which resulted in catching the eye of local and national artists within the industry. Relations in 2002, professionally known as T. Marie, she made relations in 2002 while finishing her degree as a PR student at Eastern Michigan University. Shout out to Eastern Michigan alumni.
Eagles.
Her journey began through the implementation of the grassroots experience. T. Marie has had the pleasure of working with various brands such as 26th through 28th Stellar Gospel Music Awards, wow, GM Minority Dealers Association, the Christian Center, Impact Church, Jacksonville, Florida, and MB Jefferson Ministries, to name a few. Girl Scouts of Southeastern Michigan, Detroit Youth Boxing, Detroit Symphony Orchestra, IMBC, the Music Business Conference, Word of Faith International Christian Center, Impact Church once again in Jacksonville, Florida, just to name a few. So her educational, healthcare, and most importantly, and dear to her heart once again, is the Christian entertainment and nonprofit faith-based and lifestyle sectors within 10 years. That's just a few things that she's done, but guys, this is a true professional in the business. She is the PR queen. One more time, can we give it up for T. Marie?
Aw, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So we have to go back down.
Short my bio. That was like really long.
No, it's phenomenal. Listen, when you got credentials, you got credentials.
Absolutely.
Big time. That's big time.
It's just
Thank
big
you.
time.
What you say? It's big time.
It's big time.
I don't think it would be big. But hey, I received it. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Absolutely. And you know what? As many people as you deal with,
Yeah.
like, you're always the same.
Thank you.
and you
I
don't-
try.
You don't treat
I'm
like
not all about the fakeness out here.
Oh,
you know,
no.
I'm not like that.
no, you don't treat like a more high-end artist different than you treat the local artist
yeah.
or the independent artist. You treat everybody the same. You show them the same amount of love, and that's so awesome.
Well, thank you. Well, that's actually something that I've always strived to do. Even from when I very first started doing grassroots, just slinging flyers at Easter.
Yeah.
And Ron remembers those
I
days. To where I am now, that's one of the things that really was dear to my heart. It's like, nobody's bigger than anybody else. The indie artist, isn't on a small totem pole than somebody like Dietrich or somebody like, Mary or, the Clarks or whatever.
Yeah.
But, everybody deserves the same respect. So I try to give that to them and even more.
So tell us, why are you so passionate about public relations?
That's a great question. It's first and foremost, it's my why. It's what I'm called to do. And I think a lot of people, when they get into their why or they get into their purpose, then it makes it easy for them to be passionate about it. So I get excited about, times when I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to be at Channel 2 by 7:30, to get a client ready to be on, or staying up to the midnight hours past trying to get something situated as far as the deadline is concerned. It doesn't matter to me because I'm like, you know what, this is all worth it. At the end of the day, it's all worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for those who may not be as familiar with a PR person or a publicist, tell them exactly what it is you do.
All right. So there's a lot of different facets of being in PR. You can handle media relations, so pretty much I'm the liaison between a company or a brand and the media. So the first person that a news outlet would come to is usually myself before they actually come to an artist or before they come to a particular brand, or they come to the brand and then the brand comes to me, pretty much. It goes into red carpets as far as social media development, social media management, brand management, crisis management, which is one of the things that y'all talked about a little bit earlier with, praise the Lord, Pastor Leandra. So we handle that. We handle brand management as well as community engagement, being that voice between the community and within the particular brand or the brand and the community. So it's just a little nice little synopsis of what PR is all about.
Wow.
Sweet. Very cool. Now we've just read in your bio some things, but tell us how you originally stepped out and said, okay, I know this is my calling, so this is where I'm going to begin. And like, what steps did you take?
That's a great question. Well, actually, when I first started out, I was a student at Eastern, and I was going into secondary education. Yes, I was ready to teach y'all kids. And actually, going into my junior year, I had went to a conference, and I pretty much decided that I was going to get before the Lord concerning what I wanted to do.
Wow.
I was just like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to teach anybody else's kids. I don't know if I can deal with that every single day.
Right.
Because that's a sacrifice. So I was like, you know what? I don't know if I really want to do that. I like doing some of the assets of, PR at the time. I was slinging flyers, doing, promotions. So I said, you know what? This just might be it. So long story short, got before the Father, and he was like, change your major. So I said, okay, I did. And it turned out I was able to graduate on the same amount of time that I was going to graduate if I was going into, secondary ed. Stuff just started falling into place. Actually, my grades weren't bad then, but my grades went up because I got into my purpose.
Wow.
The Lord started opening up doors for me to do more and more. Like the company that I was working with, we were bringing in people from Canton Jones to Lecrae to Kiara Shear, 2103, J Moss, Dietrich. The list goes on. Like Ron remembers those days.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So like every weekend it was something popping, and then I realized like, yes, like this is my place. Like there's no other place that I'm called to be is in here.
I love the fact that you refer to it as your calling.
Yeah.
It's not a glamorous job, You're
Not at all.
You're not the one in front of the camera. Everybody wants to be in the front of the camera. What would you say to somebody that's looking to do what you do? What advice would you give them?
First and foremost, it's not about you, it's about the client.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of individuals, and I see this on a daily, where I see people taking, other PR pros or aspiring folks taking pictures in front of red carpets and with different celebrities and things like that. And that's great and awesome. But really, in all actuality, I don't care. If I'm at an event and I never get a picture with somebody, or if I never get a chance to talk to somebody, that's okay. Because I'm flowing in what I'm supposed to do. Right. I'm placing my client first. I'm placing their brand first. And then whatever I do is secondary.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Amazing.
D. Reed stole my question, but but I do like how you said it's a ministry. That how you look at it as ministry, how you put others needs first.
Yeah.
The whole concept of joy, Jesus, others, yourself.
Yeah.
And what you do brings you joy.
That's right.
Because you're allowing your gift, to help others look good, if you will. That in the end you still benefit from it.
Oh yeah. And I don't think people realize that it's just like it's an attitude of servitude.
Yeah.
And when you step into that, it should, and I like to say it should be easy. Like one of the things that I've seen like in the headlines within the past couple of years, that PR is rated as one of the most stressful jobs in the list of careers. However, I don't have an issue with stress.
When you do what you love,
Yes.
it's not work.
Yeah, it's literally, it's not work. And now there might be days that I may have, there's a lot of pressure on me. I might have a deadline or something like that. But I never allow it to overtake me and stress to overtake, because I know that the anointing is upon me to grace me to do this.
Come on.
So it doesn't matter, if okay, I got this deadline and I got to stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning. It's all right. I'm graced to do this. I'm anointed to do this. So let's go to here. Lord, let's do this.
Yeah.
And you just have to take that type of approach.
Amen. Now, I have a question. Now, how, with your schedule being so busy because you have a lot of different clients and you don't neglect any of them. And I mean, you have clients, I mean, from the local clients here, you got clients like Bishop Davis in Florida, all over the place. Now, how do you have time for T. Marie, for social life?
Oh, that's a good question. And I'm still getting the balance on that. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm just kidding. I most definitely, I still find time to serve. I still find time, to be with my family. If you follow me on social media, I love my nieces to pieces. And so, I try to spend time with my family. I try to make time for my friends. So even though it might be hard, but I always tell folks like, all right, I got a schedule. So you want to hang out? Let's put it in. Put it in the schedule. And unfortunately, that's the only way that I can, do it. But then there are those spontaneous days where I'm just like, all right, hey, who wants to hang? And they're like, oh, you can hang this weekend? I'm like, yeah, I can hang, and I get excited. Right, like nothing. Let's roll. So it's just all about, I would have to say it's priorities.
Yeah.
You know your priorities. So I don't allow for, most importantly, what's always been important to me, even when I worked for other people before going off on my own, is that I made sure that I had a work-life balance. And I think that's the big thing, even as being entrepreneurs, is that some people get so focused on the grind where they don't realize that there needs to be a balance even with the grind.
Absolutely.
So yes, you got to grind because you got to eat, but you also have to make sure that you're making time for yourself. So even if that is a couple of hours out of the day, a portion of my time to myself, as Ron knows and Dean knows, is every day you can find me working out with Coach Kiwi, who was here, a couple weeks ago. Like, you always know that you can find me with Coach Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock.
Don't break the microphone.
I won't break the mic. I'm not that strong now. I'm strong, but strong. But I make sure that I make time for stuff that's important. My health is important. My family is important. So you have to do that.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't take that time to balance, if you're not any good to yourself, you won't be good to anybody.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Wow. It's amazing to sit here and see you in the studio with such a great passion for what you do.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're just glowing. You talk freely. You can tell that you really love what you do. So I just want to say thumbs up to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Auntie
You're
Todd.
very welcome. You're very welcome.
The other week, T called me from Atlanta like, yo, because Coach Kiwi was coming for the show, and she's always working, man, and like she said, if you follow her on social media, she stay on the move and stay on the gram. But I like that, being an entrepreneur and indie artist myself, I love to see that motion, because it's forward motion, it's progress. You see a lot of people that's spinning their wheels. They always on Instagram and stuff, but they ain't really doing nothing. But she really is doing great things, and
Thank you.
I'm glad that she is out there doing what she does with the spirit that she has, because there are some rascals out there.
The saved Olivia Pope.
Huh? You better call her a gladiator. Huh?
Olivia Pope with salvation.
Yes, I am the Olivia.
She gonna fix it for you.
I like that. Y'all better call me the Olivia Pope. Y'all better do it.
Get T. Marie on the phone. Get her on the phone.
Get T. Marie on the phone. Where's she at?
I appreciate it. I really do.
So,
I really do.
Now, inquiring minds want to know.
Oh my.
That
What y'all want to do?
is there a certain man in your life right now?
Oh my gosh. Would
Now,
you
you know
really want to put me on blast?
I did to the wrong side, so we did.
I got my Periscope viewers on. They trying to get all up in my business.
She needs her PR rep.
Right.
That's so funny. My best friend's on right now, and she just put the side eyes on Periscope, like, whoop. At the time, no.
Okay. Okay,
So,
at this time.
At the
Boaz,
time.
where you at?
At
Find
the
it.
time, no.
So is that something that you're seeking? Do you want someone to find you? Do you want a family?
I do. I most definitely do. Yeah, that's always been a desire of mine. If anybody's ever, if you follow me on social media, my family is everything. My friends are everything. Besides what I do. So that's most definitely something that I do desire. I believe that it's coming sooner than later, but
Would
it's
you
all
allow
about God's time.
Would you allow the Ron Todd show to set you
Oh!
up on a blind date?
Oh my!
That'd be dope.
That would be so dope.
Oh!
If y'all
Yes,
can
and it
see
has
her
to be on
face
Periscope.
now.
It'd have to be on
It has to be on
Periscope.
It has to be a Periscope.
Yes. And you know how big that would be? Especially because, let me tell you, it's going to have to be a very strong brother to handle someone who's got themselves together like you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I actually agree with
And
that.
so
one.
we literally, guys, we may actually have to go through an audition process and screen these guys and make sure that they understand what they got to deal with. They got to be, first of all, she has her own business. She got her own schedule. She deal with very high-end clients, and there's other men that
There
hanging
are,
around
you know what,
her.
and that's the thing too, that a lot of folks unfortunately cannot handle is the fact that that I deal with a lot of guys. But just gonna be honest, like there's most definitely a lot of guys in my life, and a lot of them are my brothers, and they've been with me.
Yeah.
Like me and Ron have been together for over 10 years, so it's
Long
just
time,
like
yeah.
So there's a lot of people that I've had that I've been friends with, and that I've always been tight with and things like that. So they have to be able to handle that.
Got to be secure.
Yeah,
They gotta be secure. Gotta be secure.
Come on, security.
Gotta be secure. Security.
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 Listen, we gotta take a break, y'all. We will be back with more. What exactly would you have done to help her with all of this, all the things that she's been involved with lately on social media?
Stuff.
Okay, so I was recently told about the recent situation, and if I had to give any type of advice in regards to anyone, not even just Leandria, because a lot of people get on social media and they tell their business. They use Facebook as a diary.
Oh my
They
god.
use Periscope as a time to go off and get, advice about their family issues and everything else. And I would first and foremost tell you to stop talking.
Yes.
First and foremost, stop talking.
Shut up.
Even though you might think it's great,
Come on. And it might feel great for
It
you
might
to get it
feel
off your
alright.
chest.
but it's not. Yeah, mm-mm.
Can we put a pin right
Sure.
there?
Yes.
Because I want to encourage the listeners. That is so true. Social media is not the place to air your dirty laundry.
It's
And
not.
Sometimes people do it because they feel like they're getting back at somebody else, and you don't realize you're making yourself look
Or the
bad.
subliminal
The
statuses.
subliminal messages.
Like,
Oh,
that's just wrong.
we get real froggy behind the
Oh my
keyboard.
goodness.
We get real froggy behind the keyboard.
Right.
My thing is if you're having issues in your life, take them to God. Cast your cares on Him and leave them there.
I actually saw someone, a young lady,
Mhm.
she got on there and she let her husband have it just on
Oh,
social
see,
media.
that's
And
uncalled
someone in the
for.
comment section says to her, hey, are you going to come back a few days later after you guys have made up and put another post about how you guys have made up? If you're not, then stop. Then take this post down.
And guess what? If they never make up,
Wow.
if they never make up, Auntie, if they never make up, it's just not integral.
Right.
No, it's
That's
not.
right.
And I think at the end of be all, and I tell individuals, especially dealing with crisis management and artists and such, is that first and foremost, like even though it may feel right in the moment, it's not the place nor the time. As
Right.
you hear your parents say a lot of times, there's a time and a place for everything. There really is.
Yeah.
There really is. And airing out how you feel or thinking that I'm about to, be more real, so I'm gonna show everything. That's not the case at all. Some things should be kept in private. Like my mom used to always say, what happens in the house stays in the house.
Right.
And I think a lot of times individuals feel as though, oh, well, I'm an open book and I'm keeping it real. And it's like, really, you're
Oh
not
my
really
gosh.
keeping it real. Like, you need to hold out on that, because you don't know what witness or whose witness you're tampering with
Right.
by you either airing out your feelings on social media or you're showing your environment. Now, dealing with the Leandria situation, that's one of the things I would have said was like, hey, you know what? We need to pull you off of social media for a minute. And then, if she was still on, then I would have somebody with, and I'm just put there, yeah, I'll have somebody else manage her stuff for a minute, until proper training was given to both parties, to everybody who's on her team, and then also her. So then that way, there's no more mistakes
Right.
that are happening like this. Again, just because you're trying to keep it real or you're trying to be expose yourself or be transparent with people, there's a way of being transparent and being discreet.
Right.
There's two different things.
Do you think that in the so-called keeping it real are really actually cries for help or
It could be.
or looking for attention?
And I most definitely, definitely agree that it most definitely could be a cry for help, and it also could be attention seeking, or you think that, oh, well, I'm gonna do this so it's gonna gain me more press,
Yeah.
But not all press is good press.
That's right.
So you need to realize that a lot of people say like, oh, press is press and da da da, but once it hits the internet, it's there.
It's there.
People can still pull it up. So just because you think that you canceled out a Periscope session or you canceled out, a post or something, like folks take screenshots.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They start sharing with people.
Mhm.
They start sending through group text messages, the whole nine. So don't think that what you placed out there is not fair game.
Right.
Like, it's gotten to the point where folks can use that in the court of law against you.
Mhm.
So you have to watch what you're posting. You just got to be discreet about it. And especially being somebody who's in authority. And this just doesn't go for her. This goes for artists. This goes for pastors. We just have to be mindful about the approach that we take. Pastors' wives, everything else. Like, it literally, you have to be discreet, and you have to be able to know, like, this is all right for me to say and this is not. And if you have to second guess it when you post it before you press
You
in,
shouldn't be
then you
posting.
should not be posting.
and there's no such thing as I'm being transparent.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
that's the new way of thinking. Well, I'm being transparent. I'm human
But there's
like
a right
everybody
way,
else.
yeah, and there's a right way and a wrong way to even be transparent, though. Like, you can say how you feel against the situation, and I'm not saying that you're not supposed to stand your ground. I want to make that clear and make sure that the listeners know that I'm not saying that you're not there to stand your ground concerning a situation or concerning a subject. However, there's a right and a wrong way to say things.
But
so
isn't
you
it
need
true
to be
that
mindful
people
of
use
that.
that?
What?
Isn't it true that people use that to be as like an excuse to be messy?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Or then people think that their messages are subliminal and they're really not.
Mm-hmm.
You on there talking about a certain topic, and it becomes very obvious that you're talking about your spouse, or very obvious that you're talking about a friend that everybody knows that you're connected with.
Oh,
You
most
hang with the
definitely.
same person every day, and you're saying, this person that I hang with all the time, well, we all know who you're talking about because you
Right.
post about them all the time.
Right.
So it's like, that kind of stuff, I think it's not
And I think a lot of times too, even when it comes to like political issues and things like that, like a lot of individuals say like, oh well, I don't care if I lose followers and da da da, and that's fine,
Yeah, you
but
do.
realize that you are an influencer in your sphere, meaning that you are the ambassador for whatever you're standing for.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say something, be able to say it and be able to stand by it. But most importantly, be respectful for other people too. And I'm not, like, prime example is I'm not favorable of, abortion. You know what I'm saying? And my friends know that.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't think that there is a such thing as an average person,
Yeah.
because everybody's an influencer in whatever you're doing.
Absolutely.
So, even though you might think like, oh, don't nobody know me, T. Marie, somebody
Right.
still knows you. So you're still an influencer. People are still listening to you.
Somebody knows
So
somebody.
yeah,
Knows
somebody knows somebody that knows somebody. Exactly. So your voice is still being heard. Your voice is still important. So just know, just take that into consideration. But yeah.
Awesome.
But if you want to know my thoughts on crisis management, you can go to catch.com or
Me.
catch.me. Yes, I'm sorry. Catch.me/TMariePR. And there's a scope on there that I did when Leandria first did her Labor Day outburst, and it's
But
called.
she naked now. You got to do another one.
Oh my, there is another one.
Ah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, I'll think about that one, D. I'll think about that one. But it's 4 steps to follow when crisis hits.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Good
All right.
information.
I'm so glad that you're here because
Thanks for having me.
yes.